you got to look forward. You can't be looking at an exit. You think those NASCAR drivers are looking for their pit stop? No. They're going as far and as fast as they can until they have to take a pit stop. What's up, guys? This is XCLUSIV Life with me, Chris Hinckley, and my best friend, business partner, Weston, Richey. Today, we're going to talk about the wrong map. Now, I don't know about you guys, but how frustrating is it when you get an address from someone, you click it, your maps opens up, and you go to it, and it's the complete wrong address in the wrong city. This has happened to us on shoots. This has happened to us from people trying to get to the studio, and it's very frustrating. So, the wrong map. Weston, what does that mean for you?
The wrong map means to me is imagine getting in your car, right? And you have a destination, right? You're supposed to go to, right? And you start driving, right? And you're like, I'm about 40 miles in. You're like, wait a minute. I don't know if this is the right direction. So what do? You exit, right? And then you start going back the same direction, right? Now you go 60 miles the other direction. And you're like, dang it, maybe that was the right direction. And then I exit again. So now I'm driving 60 miles back the other direction. And now I'm in the same spot. To me, that's the wrong map, is if you know where you're going to go, don't exit. There's no traffic when you have your own lane. And if you stick to what you're going to do and you plan what you're going to do, you're going to get there, right? If you go back to 80s when you used to pull out a map and you used to get MapQuest and you used to draw down the map of a specific lane, do the same thing with life. Identify the stop signs, identify the street signs, and figure out where you're going to go, because either choice is hard, right? But there's nothing worse than going somewhere that's not actually your destination, or being stuck in the same circle of the highway that never ends because you can't make up your mind of the destination you're trying to go. Which I think that's where a lot of people sit. It's my goal and my dream stay in a racetrack where I don't get to exit. Right? I'm just taking pit stops and I'm just circling and I'm circling, where it's like, dude, imagine one of them NASCAR drivers being able to exit NASCAR and just rip the roads. How much fun would that be?
That's your
right?
dream right there.
It'd be so fun. So I think that's where I'm at when it comes to, that topic is stop exiting, identify the lanes of life you want to live, right?
I love that. And it really fits your brain type, because you want to go 1,000 miles an hour in one lane and not take any turns or exits. Just keep going wherever you're going. And I love that. And my brain takes it from a different perspective of, that second thought in your head is other people's expectations and what they're saying about what you're doing. And those are directions from someone else versus directions from your life. And the more outside help you get on finding that direction, the worse off you're going to be, and the more you're going to second guess yourself. A lot of people are sitting in that right lane versus the left speed lane, and they're waiting to take an exit. They're waiting to turn back around because they're afraid of what path they're on. And then as soon as they get some sort of success, you got the people coming in with the judgment. And those are your second guess on your conscience of making you want to take that exit and flip around, start over. And it's just important to block that out, because like you said, we're in a spaceship. There's no rear view mirrors.
Facts.
And everyone needs to think about that for their life. Is we're focused on moving forward. We've already been where we can see behind us. It's not a focus for us. It's important to understand and learn, but you got to look forward. You can't be looking at an exit. You think those NASCAR drivers are looking for their pit stop? No. They're going as far and as fast as they can until they have to take a pit stop. So for me, that's where it takes it, is like, don't take other people's direction for your life. This is your map. This is your path that you're on, and stick to your Apple Maps. Don't let anyone else tell you what to do.
I think there's another cool perspective to the roadmap, right? It's people can do things differently and still get the same result, right? And we both know that we can go to Dallas and we'll take different turns in different directions and we'll still get there, right? And I think that's the open-mindedness that we need to develop as people, is going, hey, do your path, grow your path. And if you learn from it and you have to do whatever to fix it, do it. But here's where I'm at. Here's the truth of this road that I took on. And if it helps you, it helps you. Right. But I think so many people are, like you said, getting judged on, what someone else should do or what they think that you should do. Right. And that's where it's just like grabbing the steering wheel and going, hey, God, guide me, grow me. Right. And I think that's kind of where I, in my life, have been very confused, is like I had all these lanes that I was operating in, but they weren't actually going to the same place. Right. And that's when my brain was like, Weston, what are you doing? This is where you need to build a parallel accelerator, right? Which is spiritual, mental, physical, business, personal. If you identify all those lanes to your highway to get to your destination, they all align. You're not having to exit anymore because you're super clear. You have intention of what your dream is, what your goal is, and then you can get there, right? So if you go through that process of those 5 things and identify them, you can kind of take data on actually how to put those things together. And that's what the parallel accelerator is, which is another day. But if someone's going through a phase, Chris, in their life where they're confused, they don't have clarity, they don't have intention, they're stuck, how do you get them on the right path, right, for their map? Like, how do you get them to identify their own lane to get to the destination of happiness, kindness, people, purpose, passion? How would you put that together for someone?
Well, in order to figure out your path, you have to figure out where you're going. So, what is your goal? What are you trying to move towards in life? Is it financial success? Is it peace at the home? Is it growing a family? Or is it all of those things? It's really important to define your destination, because you won't be able to figure out the right way to get there. And the right way to get there is up to you. Like you said, we may have the same destination, but we may have different paths to get there. That's divine. That was set before we were even born. And it's important to go on your own path because you learn the lessons that is important to you. And you take life experiences from others, like you said, to build that path in a way that can avoid some sort of pain or get there faster. So I think it starts with figuring out your destination. And some people may not know that. And that's where the parallel accelerator comes in. That's where the war room comes in, where we help people get clarity and discover who they are. Because a lot of people that we've found, we've worked with, close relationships with, is they may have a good amount of fulfillment in their life, but they have something deep inside of them that is missing. And that's due to a lack of understanding of who they are and what they need most in life, right? Because every person has different needs, different character traits, communication patterns, and relationships. And once you understand you, we're developing this thing called a you book, which is pretty cool. I actually did it for myself the other day. It just helped me understand how I move and why I feel the things the way I feel them and why I react in certain instances. And then also how I can grow. Once you get clarity on you, you can really start to do the work. But it's hard to understand what work you need to do if you don't understand who you are to begin with. So for me, you have to understand and identify your destination. And then before that, if you don't know your destination, you need to get clarity on who you are. And if you need help with that, you can come to me and Weston because we have a full built out system ready for you. So reach out to us.
That's the roadmap to life, right? It's the how to identify your destination, right? How to identify a happy life, how to identify a happy home, right? And I think that's something that we've had to go through a lot of trenches and a lot of trials. And then the most important thing out of that entire thing was that we asked the right questions. If we didn't ask those questions to the successful people, to the unhappy people, to the happy people, to all the people we've met, we wouldn't have any of these answers. And I think that's kind of something we've started talking about more because we've seen a different perspective of life. And when you think about perspective, it's also revealing itself, right? And we've revealed other people's lives for them. We've, seen things we want and we've seen things we don't want. And I think that's where you kind of grab the steering wheel again and say, hey, who's getting in the vehicle? We're going to go together and we're not going to exit. So I think going forward, if you guys are curious about what a roadmap is or the parallel accelerator or our program, DM us, check in with us, and we'll help you kind of get there, right? We believe in people. We believe in purpose. We have identified passions, and that's where we are. So if you got any questions, let us know, and we'll see you all in the next one.